no me yare kakra. Inti menyem ye. And I won't even know me yare ye. Me do 27 weeks no. That could be na me yare October. And I don't me die and I'm going to coma. It's not something me call hospital. I'm calling them to me eclampsia. There's some we yakola na nyesa me. Into we yakola no. Akola no me because of yare and into no. When to me into Australian after 8 days. I want say area where then sana na mami po enye biba na minim. Into 2030 me sign me me shame into me ya ma say me kwa abuchi na me ko na me ko there me ko wo ye. But about 2017 no me sign yem biom. And so be ma we dey sa do 27 weeks special no call show me call hospital me da ho akola we dey we mpie po wo me man hwe na nim po ntimi nim dey we or Philip like they were so send me so on the papa. So when I'm say there be area where hard we should who say second leading cause of maternal mortality in Ghana and yes you yembo who dey so that will be able to make symptoms because any cure but who nta me betimi amane do na akola no nya obia wenye bibia no me say bra out na be kan wasem intina gapeg no Ghana Action on Pre-eclampsia na be for we support groups na wa wenye bi ne yaba ne yakan yasem ne nya clinical psychologist so betumi ne yaka the way betumi overcome this trauma because it's easy even to me bother out of these losses and so mo benyem no mo nko hospital ansa na benyem no kwa ya worry for na person wa seek preconception care na ye dey yen show na ye co coordinator so atie me nurses medical doctors ne kasa me say o mo nka nche o mo say answer for no mo kasa mo ye no mo ntie mo penenta mako mo kwa mo nya aboche na mo ntie because the mo ka no eno ne betumi age wo nkwan ne wo bankwa so obi ani baby a ofiba me say nka me ni me history a nke beboa me two ese upie wano na akasa enye din e ma ye mpian wesiko ye nka keke na wade mutu so ha bisa ni en hwehwe mu na ti ase na wo ti ase na obetumi abibi afa say say doctors no so omu bi o ma no de ehu en so omu bi o ma no omu kope file folder o pressure akosho say ko say fedro we ye nka ncho de ye doctors me hu say bi nim but aden omu bi o ma no ye nti ase mu bi o ma no na mo nka ncho say we anyway we na ye pre-eclampsia ti hwe hu say ye say be man money on bonkomo because omo na nkola no wo mu families no any pregnant women no nya say mo fa bibia nhye mutim mo nka de ase ehia kyerɛ na yesu yetu ye ni aye den etumi ada ho as far as we can rescue we want to bring pre-eclampsia to its knees totally to throughout the region throughout Ghana subsequently kwa say other chapters open in other countries because we must overcome this disease. We must have our children when we go to birth and the women must live.
I was at, the spectrum, borderline. I mean, not even, but in the midst of the dangers of eclampsia and pre-eclampsia. I was in there. Anything could have happened. It is a miracle that I was able to go through the 9 months period. Not all of us have it that way. We will plead with you, health professionals. Please be patient with us. Take your time. You said yourself, when women are pregnant, they're like, quote unquote, they've lost it. Take your time and explain issues to us. Take us to be your daughters, your mothers, your sisters, your nieces, what have you. And please make yourselves accessible so we can come to you. So we can ask you all the questions that are bothering our mind. Don't let us be afraid of you. There are women who are even afraid to ask a midwife, nurses, doctors questions because of the reaction, because of the responses. No woman deserves to die whilst giving life. I don't want to overstate this, but please, let's join hands and change attitudes. Secondly, to us as women, let us be bold. Let's find our voices. God has given us a voice. Let's be bold and ask questions. Let's read. Let's share our stories. Let's understand the situation that we are in, because to me, pregnancy is not a normal ride. Some can have it smoothly, others don't have it that way. Some give birth 26 weeks, they live. Some carry to 9 months, they don't have it. Some carry 8 children at the same time, all of them are born. Some just one, they don't make it. So please, let's learn to share, network, interact with each other, ask questions, seek opinion. Second, third, what have you? Don't be afraid. And then to our men, please be supportive. Look out for them. It took two people to conceive. Don't leave the woman to go on the journey alone. Be by her side. Be supportive. Help her. Lessen the burden, the load on her. Go with her to antenatal. Remind her. Ask her questions. Go to the doctor's office with her. Go to the midwife with her. And even if she's forgetting, please remember to ask the questions and read as well. Show love in this risky period during pregnancy. To our First Lady, I remember very well 10 years ago when I started the Standpoint, she was one of the first people I interviewed on the program. And I still remember, I play back, and one of these days I'll plead with her so that I'll play back that program. The thing she said, she hasn't deviated from it as she became the First Lady. She's still supporting women, fighting for women, speaking up for women. But we know, madam, that sometimes it can be daunting. We know the men will also come fight for us. We know children, everybody will come and chip in. But please, don't leave us hanging. Don't forget about us as women. Please continue to support us and fight for us. Anytime I remember what you've done for the women in the Ashanti region, Konfanochi Hospital, it just brings tears to my eyes. It is just awesome. Thank you and God bless you. To our media, finally, please, issues affecting women, pregnancy, childbirth, women's health, what have you, they are political issues too. They are very important issues. They are developmental issues. So please, let's put it on the table. Let's put it on the agenda, on the morning shows, on the afternoon shows, on the late night shows. Please, I am pleading as one of you for 21 years, being in the trenches with you and still going. Please, let's keep talking about it. I'm not going to plead with government, no, because I'm relying on you, my colleagues in the media. If we leave government, you and I know. But when we keep hammering it in the media, when the First Lady is talking, the health professionals are doing their work, and we in the media also keep drumming on this issue, government will act. We all saw it when the baby friendly center was opened at Kumasi Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. Almost all the ministers were there. But when the First Lady was struggling finding money, we saw just one or two. So when things are working, when we are doing our bit, government has no choice than to jump on the bandwagon and then help us. From today onwards, we are going to continue the campaign. You and I, not just the media, students, student leaders, health professionals, bankers, media, all of us, let us join hands. Let us join hands. I'm tempted to do something, but I won't do it here. I normally do it when I go to speaker places, but not today. But let us join hands and continue this fight to help save our women, to help save our men. Because when you save the women, you are saving the men. Kwewa lost 2 boys who could have grown to become men. So please, let us all join hands and join this campaign.
And I am indeed very grateful to observe the International Day on Pre-eclampsia and eclampsia with you. I never heard of pre-eclampsia until I met Mrs. Koilabi last year when she came to my office and spoke to me about it. It's a real shame that I had no idea about it until now. And I'm determined to support her and support the initiatives or the work that is to be done to avoid our women dying, or as women dying giving birth. A day like this reminds us to intensify our efforts to reduce maternal mortality and morbidity by critically addressing both pre-eclampsia and eclampsia. Globally, 830 women die from pregnancy and childbirth-related causes each day. After post-delivery bleeding, the second cause of these deaths are pre-eclampsia and eclampsia. Significantly, in some regions in Ghana, notably Greater Accra and Central, pre-eclampsia is the leading cause of maternal death. The fact, according to experts, is that these deaths are preventable, and yet essential medicines and tools to treat this disorder are often unavailable in our context. This is indeed sad. It is critical that we increase resources, including essential medicines, to prevent and treat the condition. We also need to increase awareness and knowledge about symptoms, prevention, and treatment to help save the lives of mothers. No one should suffer like our sister Koiwa. So today, indulge me for a few minutes as I share what I now know about pre-eclampsia and eclampsia with you. We always need to start from a place of knowledge. Pre-eclampsia, as I understand it, is a pregnancy complication characterized by high blood pressure and signs of damage to organs, most often the liver and kidneys. Pre-eclampsia usually begins after 20 weeks of pregnancy in women whose blood pressure had previously been normal. For the purposes of illustration, let's say a woman, Ya Mansa, has the condition during pregnancy. Ya, whose blood pressure had been previously normal, will exhibit pregnancy-induced high blood pressure. A test will show protein in her urine, and she will have swollen feet that depress when pressure is applied. According to the professionals, this may imply that Ya's liver and kidneys may be affected. Ya Mansa's pre-eclampsia would normally begin in the second half of pregnancy after 20 weeks. For a woman like Ya with no previous hypertension, even a slight rise in blood pressure may be a sign of pre-eclampsia. Some other symptoms include severe headaches, changes in vision, and upper abdominal pain, usually under the ribs on the right side. Other symptoms include nausea or vomiting, decreased urine output, and shortness of breath caused by fluid in the lungs. It is important for us to note that pre-eclampsia sometimes develops without any symptoms. So Ya Mansa's high blood pressure may have developed slowly or suddenly. If undiagnosed, pre-eclampsia can lead to eclampsia, a serious condition that can put a woman and her baby at risk and may even cause death. There's no way to cure pre-eclampsia except for delivery, and that can be a scary prospect for mothers-to-be. But you can help protect yourself by learning the symptoms of pre-eclampsia and by seeing your doctor for regular prenatal care. Catching pre-eclampsia early may lessen potential long-term effects for both mother and baby. That is why I encourage pregnant women to attend all antenatal clinics as scheduled to allow the professionals to take care of you. I am also told that there are certain risk factors that make it easier for a woman to suffer pre-eclampsia. I want to share some of these to help us recognize them and seek help. A woman is at a higher risk if she has a personal or family history of preeclampsia, or has chronic hypertension. The risk is also higher with the first pregnancy, or if a woman is pregnant with her second or third child with a new partner. An obese woman, a woman carrying 2 or more fetuses, or carrying an in vitro pregnancy, also has a higher risk of getting preeclampsia. Again, the risk to the woman is higher if the woman is young or older than 40 years, or her babies are spaced less than 2 years or more than 10 years apart. I therefore entreat our adolescent girls to focus on their education and encourage us all to practice family planning. This is not to frighten anyone. As we know, having knowledge allows us to take the necessary steps to stay well and alive. Because really, left untreated, preeclampsia can lead to serious, even fatal complications for both the pregnant woman and her unborn baby. There are, of course, other relevant and critical information best provided by a professional, not someone like me, pretending to be one for a couple of hours. I will therefore entreat our health workers to intensify the education on preeclampsia and other conditions that lead to the still unacceptable rate of maternal deaths in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to fight preeclampsia to save our mothers and babies. It is what compels me to be here this morning. I know it is what compels all of you to be here too. And I congratulate Ghana Action on Preeclampsia for your vision and drive in organizing this annual function. May God bless all women, especially pregnant women. My prayer is that we will all work together to make childbirth safe for both mother and baby. Once again, thank you for the invitation.
Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I recognize each and every one of us, and I want to thank you most sincerely for making yourself available as we have this event of today. My reason for joining this noble campaign against preeclampsia is very, very simple. It's because I belong to an organization which, at least in fact for this particular year, we have certain very, very specific goals. And for this year, our goals are encapsulated in 3 points, and we call it the 3 zeros. Number 1 of it is that we want to achieve 0 preventable maternal deaths. And this is a good place to clap for us, please. 0 preventable maternal deaths, and we also want to achieve 0 unmet needs for family planning. And the third one, very, very important also, is I want to achieve 0 gender-based violence and harmful traditional practices. So that's the reason why we are very much interested in this topic, because as the MC had said, we believe that no woman should die while giving birth. We put it also more aptly as no woman should die while giving life, because we believe that if you want to give life, you in the land of the living, you need to bring somebody to life to join the living alive. And therefore we believe that that process and the product thereof should be safe and free for everybody. So that's why the issue of pre-eclampsia affects greatly the realization of our goal, and we work towards ensuring that people can do it safely. If we are to end maternal death, everything that would jeopardize the health of the pregnant woman and our unborn child is our business. So what we do in UNFPA is actually we deal with the issues of women. And I'm very, very happy that we have more women here than we have the men. And the men that are here, they are more or less honorary women because they are supporting the women. You are most welcome. Thank you for coming. And particularly, I also want to acknowledge the presence here of nurses and midwives. And I can see they are in front because of the importance of what the topic is. They are very, very vital to the process. I want to salute you, and I want to encourage you to please continue to do more. It is the passion and commitment that comes with this that actually brings about the results. And in this, I must confess that I'm an interested party because my mother used to be a midwife. So that's why the issues of midwives and nurses is something that is very, very close to my heart. And you can always be assured that for us in UNFPA, we'll continue to work with you to bring about the results that need to come with your work. So UNFPA contributes largely to addressing one of these particular leading cause of maternal death. And Your Excellency, I must commend you for the bold step that you take in championing issues of maternal health. It is exemplary, and I can tell you I've been around in Africa at least. I can tell you, for those of us that are listening, the activities of our First Lady is second to none in the continent of Africa. Before I resumed here in Ghana, while I was in my former post in New York, I read about the documentary that was aired on Joy FM about the Okonfo Anoche maternity block and the passion with which First Lady addressed the issues that came up at about that time. And while there, even though I had already been designated, because I had already been designated to come to Ghana, I had to call the office and to say, what are you guys doing about this? And my people in the office, they rose up to the occasion, they issued statements, they commended First Lady, and this is just to show that First Lady demonstrated in a short period that she's deeply passionate about the mandate of UNFPA in ensuring that every pregnancy is wanted, every childbirth is safe, and also that every young person should achieve their potentials. Today, with the completion of that facility, Your Excellency, you have made a huge difference and impact in the lives of pregnant women, and on behalf of everybody, I want to commend you most sincerely for that. I was again excited when I was told that Our Excellency, the First Lady, will be the one that will be the guest at this awareness creation event on pre-eclampsia. And I told myself that this is indeed real passion. For many of us, we have jobs. We go to the job that we do daily, but then something much more than the job is the passion and the commitment that comes along with it. And that is actually the real difference. That is the God factor there that makes us to achieve. And I believe that we'll be able to achieve that objective of ending preventable maternal deaths in Ghana. Not only are you interested in the infrastructure, we also know that you are also interested in getting the people informed so that they can prevent the needless deaths. And that's why every one of us is here today. Let me turn to Ohini Yeriche. We have followed you. We have followed your advocacy for issues affecting women. And it's obvious that you have touched many lives and many homes, especially with your spectacular testimony. Your platform is a respectable one, and I plead that you help us take this campaign to every corner in Ghana. No woman should die while giving life. And so no one should be left behind without information to face such a tragedy, because what we need, most importantly, is the information about this issue. And when people are well informed, then there is power that comes along with it, and we can achieve our aims. I also want to acknowledge and commend dear friends from the media. Through this awareness campaign, I call on all of you to give every woman the information and support that they need in order to make informed decisions about their reproductive life, to help them through pregnancy and care for themselves and newborn babies so that they can be well and so that they can move into healthy childhood and beyond. Gone are those times when, for issues like this, and in the clients from which I come, I know that when a woman is, as soon as a woman is pregnant and is getting to the last lap, we start to pray. We start to fast. And we even sometimes take them to mission houses so that they can pour holy water on them, so that they can give them morning water, so that they can give them all sorts of water, so that they can give birth safely. Most of the issues, most of what is needed is not just the prayers, but very importantly, if everyone has the appropriate information to know that if you are feeling, if you're having a particular type of feeling and you are getting to the last part, to the last lap, get up and get to the hospital. We have nurses and midwives there who will give you the appropriate advice and medical care so that you can be well. Gone are those days when we should begin to attribute maternal death to witches and wizards and somebody who, like some people say, they say the witches of my village are very strong and they have showed up once again. What we need most of the time is the information. That's why we call on all and sundry to join us to ensure that information is passed around so that everybody can give life alive. From now on, our slogan and our catchphrase or mantra should be Ghana cares. No woman should die while giving life. As I end, Your Excellency, I want to come back to you again to say, as we journey through the path of ensuring that every mother and baby are safe, we want you to know that we at UNFPA will remember you and we are with you. And we pray for you that God will be with you and that God will give you the strength to do His will. Because what we need, like I said, mostly is advocacy. Not just for the issue of pre-eclampsia, but every other issue that has to do with maternal health. We need information, we need to pass around information, and even in situations whereby we need resources. And if we want to reach the president, for example, for resources, who is the best person for us to reach out to? Please, can anybody answer me? Who is the best person for us to reach out to? Because we know that under 24 hours, Mr. President will hear. If we reach out to the minister, it might take a week for him to get an appointment to see Mr. President. But there is somebody that doesn't need appointment to see Mr. President. So we are going to stick with you, Ma, and we're going to be hanging around you to ensure that we have the highest level of advocacy to make things happen. And particularly, and this is very, very sincerely, while you remind me of the woman that the Bible describes in Proverbs chapter 31. It talks about the virtuous woman. And particularly in verse 10, it says, who can find a virtuous woman? Because her price is much more than rubies. And as you go, I want to commend you that verse 28 of that particular chapter in Proverbs chapter 31 says, our children arise and we call her blessed. Together with everybody here, we want to arise and call you blessed. Thank you very much for what you have been doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am a mother of one, still under 30 years old, and have suffered under the fatal and cruel menace of the pregnancy disorder, pre-eclampsia and eclampsia. Twice, my husband and I have had to bury our two sons. My own life has been at risk because of this disease. I say we cannot and will not go through this anymore, for the fear and mental anguish is unbearable. I suffered the condition of eclampsia with my first pregnancy at 27 weeks in the month of October 2012. As a newly married couple, we were looking forward to being parents and having our first child, who per the scan was a girl, but only came out a boy. I was ignorant to the existence of this disease called pre-eclampsia, even though I had been attending antenatal at a private hospital. On the fateful day of 5th October 2012, I went into coma. I passed out and became unconscious around 2 a.m. at dawn because my blood pressure had skyrocketed and rose to about 240, 180. I don't know what happened, but I almost died. And the only way to save my life was to deliver the prematured baby through an emergency C-section. It was my husband who saw it all and carried me to the hospital. Oh, how he suffered. So tiny and undeveloped was our under 1 kilogram baby boy, not ready to face the outside world, that he died after 8 days because of respiratory failure. His death was so painful because I had held and bathed this tiny baby for 3 days. I recall his tiny body and face, and on the day when I saw him, I felt our son was suffering and was pleading to let me go. Such suffering in his eyes, I could not stand. His loss broke us down mentally and physically, for he was our first child, the fruit of our love as newly married couple. Words cannot describe the loss, but we sailed through and was blessed 6 months later with the conception of our baby girl, who is now 4 years old. She was delivered in Dallas, Texas, United States, nearly full term at 37 weeks after 6 months of doing antenatal in Ghana. But for her, the onset of pre-eclampsia delayed and began at 34 weeks. Fast forward 2017, just last year, I suffered the same loss with my second son, who would have been the third born of my children. This time it is the condition of pre-eclampsia which killed my son. I still do not understand scientifically how and why my almost 28-week-old boy could just die in my womb. On another fateful day in March 2017, the fetal heartbeat of my baby boy could not be felt by the nurses during the routine check. My blood pressure remained high at 150/100, and to make matters worse, I had to wait 2 more days to get a dead fetus out of my womb. Such pain I had to go through with no compensation of a baby to heal my wounds. As I lay down in that theater room that day, as I tried so hard to calm my mental agony and fears, I said to myself, no, no, no. I will not go through this again. This is supposedly my last chance, according to science, after 3 cesarean sections with 1 surviving child. This was seemingly the final one to close the baby-making deal. So why this again? Though this is not my dream, and a painful one as such, I don't know what to do. For as a woman, I desire more children, but I fear that the cold ice of death caused by pre-eclampsia may come my way again if I try to conceive, because now I'm high risk. Madam Chair, there's a popular saying that we live as if we never die, and we die as if we never lived. But I beg to ask, why should we die because we want to give life? And why should we die when we want a chance of life? Why should a woman die because she wants to give life? And why should a baby die because he or she wants a chance at life? Madam Chair, this is not my story alone.
It is the story of many women and families. I am a victim. Many women are victims, and any woman can be a victim. The numbers are alarming for concern, and too many lives are taken or seriously affected by this pregnancy disease, underscoring the importance of symptom recognition and timely and effective response by our trained healthcare workers. It is for this reason that we highlight our support today to the worldwide initiative to raise awareness about pre-eclampsia and its global impact on mothers and children, so that we can bring the fatal stings of pre-eclampsia to its knees. This is my humble submission. Thank you.